Hi, my name is ZaKaiRan, and welcome to another one of my outrageously amazing, insanely enlightening master keys of creation about how to be the unlimited source master of divine creation that you truly are, to create the joy, love, well-being, and abundance you desire. And you'll find tons more self-empowering goodies to help you become a conscious, deliberate creator of fun reality on my website at ZaKaiRan.com. So I hope you'll come visit me there. So here we go. Future Earth 2, a galactic human society. Bum, 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 bum. So in case you haven't figured it out by now, we are most definitely not alone in the universe. There are countless other human and non-human extraterrestrial species in our galaxy and beyond. And it's time for humanity to look up at the sky and notice that they are watching us. And this is obvious by the literally tens of thousands of UFO sightings that have been regular occurrences for literally thousands of years, but especially the last 50 years or so. And if you study my other podcasts and books, and other authors and books about extraterrestrials, such as the Pleiadians and Arcturians and Sirians, etc., you'll grow to understand that we are, in fact, one big happy family. We haven't always been, because there have been countless galactic and planetary conflicts and wars for literally millions of years. But right now, which began in the 1990s, everyone in the galaxy is joining the light, so to speak. All of the domineering extraterrestrial species, such as the dinoids and reptoids of the former Anchara Alliance, are joining together in peace with the largest peace organization in the galaxy, the Galactic Federation of Light. Now, if you don't know who and what the Galactic Federation is, well, just watch Star Trek, because Gene Roddenberry channeled the premise of the United Federation of Planets to basically mimic the principles of the Galactic Federation, such as the fact that similarly to the United Federation of Planets on Star Trek, most extraterrestrial civilizations in the galaxy and in the Galactic Federation no longer need, have, or exchange money. And competition and control, as well as lack and war and poverty, etc., are a non-existence. Because in galactic societies, everyone takes care of everyone else. No one is left out in the cold, so to speak. No one is left homeless. No one goes hungry, ever. Because all housing, food, and transport, and every other amenity and convenience that people normally need for their comfort and survival and thrival are all free. So, imagine that. Imagine what you would do with your time and your money and your life if you no longer had to pay rent or pay your mortgage or pay car bills or electric bills or water bills or phone bills, etc., or credit card bills, etc. Imagine what you could do with all of that extra money. And then imagine how much less you would have to work to support your life. Or imagine that you didn't have to work at all. Ooh, imagine that. And at least you don't have to do work that is unfulfilling and not fun at all. You don't have to do any work that you don't really want to do. Imagine that. Yeah. And imagine that instead of having to do things that you don't want to do to pay your bills, you are instead 100% supported by every member of society to do whatever creative, business, or leisure, or entertainment, etc., thing or endeavor that you want to do. Anything that you want to do, you can do it. And you got all kinds of support to do it. And if you can imagine that, then you are seeing what society is like on other planets in our galaxy. And you are imagining what our planet will eventually be like when we become a galactic society and become full members of the Galactic Federation, which is a federation of planets, all dedicated to support each other. And if you want a glimpse of the society, just watch any of the Star Trek series, especially noting the fact that everyone on the Starship Enterprise is on that ship because they earned it with their knowledge and their qualities and their abilities, not only technologically, but also their abilities to work together for their greater good. And none of them are getting a paycheck. None of them have to pay for their food or their accommodation or their mortgage. And no one has any bills. Imagine how creative you could feel with that. We don't see what society is like typically on Earth much in Star Trek because of the focus tends to be on space and spaceships and other civilizations. But the story is clear that there is no longer a need for money on Earth. Not that there is actually anything wrong with money, because as I have said many, many times before in my podcasts and vodcasts about abundance and prosperity, in my books and articles, etc., money is like any tool, such as a hammer, which you can use to build things with it for good, or you can bash someone's skull in with it for bad. It's your choice. Money's just a tool that you can do wonderful, beautiful, fun things with, or you can be a dickhead with. It's your choice. But commerce in general on planet Earth has primarily, for 10,000 plus years, has 100% been about competition, not cooperation and service. It's been very lack-oriented, a belief that there is a lack of resources and a lack of money and a lack of time, etc. Yes, of course, there are certainly kind, generous, benevolent individuals and companies and corporations and even governments out there that aren't just wanting to exploit and be corrupt. But in general, business and commerce has been about competition and making money, making more money than the next guy. And it has been about exploitation, the exploitation of humanity, animals, plants, minerals, etc., for profit. And everything and anything, exploitation of anything that can make you profit. So in general, profit as well as domination, power, and control has been the name of the game. That Earth competition as well as conflict because of that competition has also been the name of the game across the galaxy. This Earth competition has been supported by the former Pleiadian, rogue Pleiadians, aka the Anunnaki from the planet Nibiru for the last 10,000 plus years after the fall of Atlantis, and has been the game for countless ET civilizations that were part of the sort of quote-unquote dark Anchara alliance of dinoids and reptoids and insectoid creatures, as well as their other hybrid civilizations. But anyway, that game of competition and exploitation and domination and control is now, it's now over. Even those former quote-unquote evil empires are joining the Galactic Federation. So, looking at that amazing occurrence in time, imagine how if there was no longer any need to compete over money and resources. I mean, how wars would instantly stop because of that. Because it wouldn't be any, at the very least, it wouldn't be financially viable to wage wars, considering cooperation is a lot more profitable. If resources were given away freely, then there would no longer be any need to fight over oil or coal or whatever. But what about how people fight about religion on planet Earth? Spirituality stuff. Well, obviously there is a need for a very radical shift in the consciousness of humanity. And that shift is a big one for humanity because it's a realization that not only did not one single religion get it right, which is what all religious wars are fought about, not only did not any single religion get it right, but every one of them got it completely wrong. Every single one of them. Some maybe got a little bit close, Buddhism, etc. And the next big step for humanity is a quantum leap spiritually, which isn't really a quantum leap at all because it's who and what we all truly are in the first place, which is a realization that we are all God source in human bodies. That we are, in fact, spirits having human experiences rather than humans having spiritual experiences. And the revelation that there is no such thing as a judging God force that is scrutinizing your every move, and that you need to bow down and worship. And of course, what will help fuel this quantum spiritual shift will be full disclosure of the fact that not only are we not alone in the universe, but we have countless very enlightened extraterrestrial species out there who are very happy to support our proverbial ascension, our evolution into a conscious galactic civilization where we all get along and have fun, rather than fight over crap that doesn't mean anything. And I'm not just talking about technologies that will make our lives even more, convenient and free. I'm talking about spiritual guidance that will be freely available to everyone, just as my spiritual guidance is generally freely available to anyone, especially on my podcast and YouTube channel. And even individual spiritual counseling will be freely available to everyone, so that each individual on Earth can start to reach their full potential, or at least get on the pathway to that full potential and start having some fun rather than just struggling in life. Because as society is now on planet Earth, it is relatively impossible for the average person to even get close to experiencing their full potential, because they just have no time and no money and no freedom and no support to do any of that. To reach my full potential, I have dedicated my entire life to my full realization. And I'm only just getting started, as far as I'm concerned anyway, even though I've been doing this spiritual thing for, like 45 years or so. Well, I've spent jillions of dollars going to seminars and mostly spending time just being with myself and getting into alignment with who and what I truly am, with meditation and spiritual practices and alignment techniques. And anyway, the point is there is no end to expansion, growth, and mastery. As enlightened as you can get, you can always get more enlightened. As happy as you can always get happier. So essentially, the concept of full consciousness or full realization is kind of a misnomer, because none of us will ever stop growing and expanding. But it's a worthwhile concept to use for humanity's next step, because it's the next step for every human and every ET species out there in the galaxy who's embracing love and light over competition, domination, and control, which are, of course, extensions of the unconscious feelings of helplessness, powerlessness, and unworthiness, and I'm not good enough. And full consciousness is a realization of one's innate, unlimited power of creation. And when you grasp that concept, at least mentally, then there is no need for competition and control, because you feel powerful, not powerless. So you got to really connect to that source part of you that is completely powerful. Well, then, of course, there's no need for competition. And when you feel powerful, you don't need to prove how powerful you are by how much you can control and possess and own, and etc. So, imagine a society where if you want to become a singer, no one person, not one person, says any bullshit to you like, oh, you can't sing, don't give up your day job, or what's your plan B? And instead, everyone around you says, that's an awesome dream. You go, champion. You can do it. And many other people with similar interests and dreams jump at the chance to support you and train you. And you don't have to pay a dime. For instance, not only am I an insanely enlightened spiritual master, but I'm also an actor, comedian, singer, and improviser. And I teach improvisation, which is an acting exercise as well as a theater performance form where the actors, like the show Whose Line Is It Anyway? Well, they just make stuff up on the spot and play different improvised characters and scenes and scenarios with often extremely funny results, especially when the people in my class realize that life is really a comedy, not a big drama. Now, I charge money for that class because I need to live and I need to pay for the venue rental and the props and sound and lighting equipment, etc. But because I love improv so much, I would do it for free if I could, and there was no such thing as money. So in regards to your question about, well, how will society function without money? Well, no one will work, so nothing will get done, and we'll all starve to death. Well, using my teaching free improv classes for free example, imagine people doing things like farming and gardening and building houses and creating helpful businesses and products just because they want to, not because they need to or they have to. Imagine running a restaurant just because you're passionate about food and making people happy by filling their mouths with delicious goodies. And imagine machines and robots doing all of the really boring, back-breaking, laborious things that no one wants to do, and the only reason they do it is just to pay their freaking bills. Many people fear losing their jobs to robots and AI, but if you didn't need a job in the first place, especially doing crappy things you don't want to do, well, you wouldn't fear robots taking over society, would you? You'd instead welcome them into the family. You'd welcome your robot butler making dinner and cleaning your house for you. I personally can't wait to have my own robot. Unlike clean freaks, I have no desire to clean my house and mow my own lawn and do my own dishes, etc. Those things to me are just necessary things I've got to do, but I have no desire to do them whatsoever. I'm very happy for robots to do that for me. And all of the cleaners in the world and lawnmowers in the world and so forth can just transition into doing something else that they actually want to do. And of course, if they want to clean houses, well, of course, I'm sure there would be people who would be happy for them to clean their house for them. And I would love to have my own garden. I love imagining having a garden full of fruits and vegetables and so forth, but I don't have any interest in creating and maintaining that garden at all. I'm very happy to have robots tending my vegetables, or to have human gardeners who are passionate about gardening take care of that garden for me because they want to. And then, of course, I would share those fruit and vegetables with my neighbors and so forth. So now it's hard for some people to imagine how we are going to transition to a completely free and cooperative society, or how it is even possible. But I can assure you, if an entire planet can band together and spend billions of dollars vanquishing massive enemies in a world war, well, then that same society can band together and cooperate to create world peace and prosperity and cooperation and abundance. All it would take would be desire, inspiration, and cooperation. And of course, a little support from our galactic neighbors would certainly be helpful in how they've done it. Especially when humans hear and see that cooperation, peace, and general planetary prosperity is just normal, average, everyday life on other planets where war, crime, and corruption just do not exist. People can't imagine peace because they pay way too much attention to war. They can't imagine love, honor, respect, support, and cooperation because they pay too much attention to hate, dishonor, disrespect, and injustice. Like anything you want in your life, to achieve it, you must focus on what you want, not on what you don't want and on things that already exist. So, what is life like on other planets? Say, in the Pleiades star system, or the Sirius star system, or Arcturus or Andromeda, that are peaceful, cooperative members of the Galactic Federation. What's life like on those planets and those star systems? Well, first of all, their children are trained and counseled to understand their absolute, unlimited spiritual potential and divine nature. They are not forced to learn unnecessary crap and memorize stupid things that they're not interested in, so that they can become cogs in a corporate wheel. Every inspired desire that these children have is nurtured and supported. Imagine that. And this is, of course, extended through the entire galactic civilization to all adults as well. Whatever an individual is inspired to do, or create, or accomplish, they are supported to do so. Everybody goes, yeah, go for it. But along with that freedom and support comes the natural desire to support others and support one's own community and one's own civilization and one's own planet and one's own solar system and, of course, one's own galaxy, etc. There's no such thing as typical Earth selfishness where you step on the backs of others to get ahead on these planets. Everyone is divinely, selfishly following their own hearts, which includes helping other people, which feels good and feels, of course, like the natural thing to do as a loving being. And from that divine selfishness where you are filled with your own infinite love and joy, will you now have more than enough inspiration as well as desire to help and support other people's desires and dreams and their creativity, etc. Whatever needs to be done in a galactic society, there's always someone willing to do it out of the joy of their heart and for the good of society. No one resentfully does anything that they don't want to do because of peer pressure and coercion. If you don't want to do something, well, then it's not your job to do it. That's how one lives in a fifth dimensional civilization. And no one fires you for saying no. No, I don't want to do that. Well, you're fired then. Sorry, that does not exist. In fact, no one has to ever say no to anything. There are only people saying yes to doing something, or they don't step forward. It's as simple as that. And if no one at all wants to do it, well, that's where beautiful technology comes in. Luckily, we've got technologies and robots and computers, etc., to take care of those things that no one wants to do, and we are very grateful for their divine service to society. So there's no need for the robots to revolt against their human masters, because there are no masters and there are no slaves, only machines that do things that we are very, very appreciative that they do for us. And in Galactic Society, on the ships above, those machines are actually living machines. They're not just technology. They're also biological as well. They have some degree of consciousness. In Galactic Society, everything and everyone is honored, especially the planets that society lives on. Typically, most people live in housing that is underground, which leaves nature a lot more freedom and space and habitat to thrive without needing to compete with humans for space and food. And the only buildings on the surface are temple spaces and spaces to enjoy nature, all designed to honor and nurture and appreciate the beauty of nature. Temple spaces are used to energize the planet's biosphere and energize one's body, mind, and spirit. And ceremony is conducted daily to nurture and energize society and to energize and nurture nature. So eventually, a great deal of housing for Earth humans will be underground to give nature more of the space that it deserves and desires. And of course, there will be a time where quantum respect and support for healthy nature will just become an absolute top priority for humanity. When humanity finally realizes how stupid it is to destroy one's own home, and they realize how much they actually appreciate nature and want to support nature and want to be surrounded by all kinds of critters and creatures without them being afraid that you're going to kill them. In a conscious galactic society, such as what is practiced in the Pleiades star system, Andromeda, Sirius, Arcturus, etc., these galactic human and non-human species completely and totally respect their respective planets and all of nature that resides upon them. There is no such thing as abuse and exploitation of nature. Most species of a human origin are vegetarians and do not need as much food as we do because they are sustained energetically by light and prana as their light bodies are fully activated. And they typically live a minimum of 1,000 years because their immune systems are activated, their DNA is activated, their thymus glands haven't shrunk, which energizes one's body and keeps aging from happening. And of course, some people live much longer than 1,000 years. So imagine that you could live 1,000 years instead of a measly, piddly-ass 80 to 100 years, and your body didn't have aches and pains and physical issues that we generally accept as being normal, and your body is not decaying rapidly. You're not aging hardly at all. Well, that really takes the pressure off to get as much done as you can before you get old and decrepit and can't do anything anymore. And then think about how many dreams you could follow if you lived 1,000 years. I mean, you could finally learn how to play the bassoon that you've always wanted to play, and you could take those painting, singing, dancing, and music lessons and start writing those songs that you want to write and singing those songs that you want to sing and acting in those plays that you want to play in, and But you never had any time to do any of that stuff. And even if you did have time, you'd poo-poo that dream, wouldn't you? And of course, the people around you would certainly knock that dream back and put rats in your head. Anyway, you could imagine that you could pursue any creative career that you desired, rather than just doing a job to pay your bills. And you could focus on your spiritual alignment. Imagine you had all the time you wanted to just focus on your spiritual alignment anytime you wanted. Something that typically only the dedicated few, the monks and the nuns, seem to have time for. So that you could really fulfill your spiritual and creative desires. Imagine that. Imagine that you have the time. Imagine you have the money to do whatever you wanted spiritually and get into alignment spiritually and fulfill your spiritual and creative desires, which are two things, in my enlightened opinion, that are really the same thing. Because when you connect to your spirit and your heart logic, where it is not only logical but imperative to follow your own heart, well, you will naturally open yourself to not only desiring but actually achieving countless creative, fun, adventurous, athletic, scientific, spiritual, etc. dreams. And as soon as you have time and freedom, will you start to open yourself up to unlimited possibilities, don't you? Naturally, because possibilities that were relatively impossible in the old civilization of competition and control, well, they're now not only impossible, they're an expectation. In the new civilization of life, absolutely anything is possible. Imagine that. But you don't have to wait for the ETs to land and the governments to finally admit that they have been conspiring to keep us all in the dark about the fact of ETs, and that they have been conspiring with a few rogue species of ETs to dominate the planet. And you don't have to wait for society to wake up from its delusion and for it to let go of its ludicrous addiction to being right and to prove worthiness to some judgy God and to prove that they've got the right religion and they've got the right beliefs, and your beliefs and your religion suck and you're a dickhead for following it. In fact, the faster you get off your sweet ass and accept your unlimited infinite nature, well, the faster society will expand and grow. And the faster we can start to ascend vibrationally. And the faster full disclosure can happen, so that humanity can finally wake up from its nightmare and start having fun, creating joy, love, and prosperity for everyone, rather than everyone fighting over the carcass like hungry hyenas. It's time for humanity to wake the fuck up and stop playing the same old boring games of King of the Mountain and I'm more powerful than you and I've got more goodies than you and I've got more money than you. A game that humanity and the entire galaxy, for that matter, has been playing for literally tens of thousands, nay, millions of years. And I don't know about you, but it's a game that I am fully and 100% sick and tired of playing and seeing played out over and over again ad nauseum on this planet. I mean, that's why I have always preferred space shows over any of the other kind of shows. Well, and I love comedies of any kind, of course, because even though, the space shows tend to be full of conflict, they also, especially Star Trek, give us a hint of what's really out there in space and where we are headed as a planet as we gradually reconnect to our galactic roots and realize our multidimensional nature, our extraterrestrial nature, etc. So there's no time like the present to accept and embrace your galactic origins and your galactic connection to your space brothers and sisters. And as soon as you do, I guarantee you will be happier. You will no longer feel alone like a stranger in a strange land, or that you have somehow been rejected by God. And you'll start to feel more like one of the ground crew on an away mission reporting to the ships above what the humans are up to. And you'll see a much bigger picture. Rather than being a little mouse, you'll have eagle vision. So for me, it has always felt more natural to call myself an extraterrestrial than a human. My body may be an Earth human, but my soul is a galactic soul, or from a human perspective, a galactic human soul. And my spirit is non-human and non-ET because it is completely non-physical. And that same spirit has inhabited and can inhabit countless human or extraterrestrial bodies. So the question I have for you, dear heart, is who's ready to become a member of the Galactic Federation of Light? To become part of the galactic family of species dedicated to joy, love, well-being, abundance, and fulfillment, and the advancement of this planet and this civilization into a civilization of light, to become galactic humans. Who wants to receive their official membership card? Well, sign up right now. Just send 1 million love dollars to Galactic Federation of Light, 1313 Andromeda Street, Sirius B, Sirius Galaxy, 88888. Don't you dare miss it. Get your Galactic Federation membership card now. So I hope you have enjoyed my vodcast, Future Earth 2. And if you want more intel on the many different ET species out there in our galaxy that are our galactic brothers and sisters, well, go to my website at ZaKaiRan.com and get access to my audio and video book entitled Planet Earth's Galactic Human History, the ET Origins of the Human Species, where I talk about our galactic human origin, plus ancient civilizations, ET colonies on Earth, such as Atlantis, Lemuria, plus other civilizations and various ETs in our history with them over the last million plus years. And of course, there'll be a link on this post to that audio video series. And I recommend researching and reading the many Pleiadian books by authors like Barbara Hand-Clough, Barbara Marciniak, as well as Sheldon Neidl's books and videos. There will again be links to all of those websites on my video or podcast. So I hope you enjoyed this vodcast, and it has helped you to realize your amazing nature as a multidimensional being, and it has helped you realize where we're headed, really realize that we are fully and truly about to enter and are entering right now a truly golden age. And that you're not alone down here. You have tons of support, and you're going to get a lot more support as you go along. And there's tons of support available right now from your friends and family like myself, and beings of a non-physical nature from the Galactic Federation, from the angels and ascended masters and so forth. We're all here to support you to be the awesome divine master that you truly are. Because we are indeed all in this together, and there's nothing serious going down here on planet Earth. This is not a big drama. This is one big situation comedy, and I hope this vodcast has helped you to remember that and to get you excited about what and where we are headed as a planet and civilization, where we are all working and playing together as one planet, nurturing and helping not only our beautiful planet and nature and the beautiful animals on this planet, but helping and supporting each other. So, if you did enjoy this, please share with your friends, bless them with these amazing teachings. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and my podcast channel, The Master Keys of Creation. Come visit me at ZaKaiRan.com for tons more self-empowering goodies to help you become a conscious and deliberate creator of reality, to literally make all your dreams come true and create the life of your dreams. My name is ZaKaiRan, and I'm here to help you remember that you are an unlimited master of divine creation, and you have the power and freedom to create the joy, love, well-being, and abundance you desire. Thanks again for watching my video or listening to this podcast, and I wish you immense joy and abundance on your magnificent journey of divine creation. And of course, remember to make life a holiday. Woohoo!